Welcome back, fellas. I know it's been a minute since our last episode. We took a brief hiatus for a little quality time with the lady, but now we're back and better than ever. In the last episode, we completed our toughest challenge yet and obtained the Holy Sandals, a huge upgrade for the account. We're now sitting at 45 points with 3 available quest unlocks and 4 available diary unlocks. I somehow managed to delete a few of my clips, so let me just briefly explain where we're at currently. After acquiring the Holy Sandals, we spun for our next challenge, which ended up being the Steel Heraldic Horse Helm, an item that most of you probably never knew existed. However, upon reaching our 45 point milestone, we were forced to banish one of our challenges, so the Heraldic Helm was put into the graveyard and we re-rolled for our next challenge, the Ogre Marksman Chompy Hat. Side note, listen up guys, I just want to say that the banishing ability was experimental at this stage. It really was meant to be used later on down the line, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to include it at all. I chose to leave it in to kind of test the waters and see how it would work out. And with that being said, I'm going to be removing the banishing ability for now. I'm thinking maybe I'll tweak it in the future and possibly add it back in once we hit the high tier wheel at 100 combat. For now, it doesn't really fit in with the low or medium tier and it'll be removed later on. For now, we're just going to roll with it until we can clear the current list of banished items. In celebration of me changing the rules yet again, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video. Please. I'll suck your d. This variant of the hat only requires 95 Chompy kills, so this one's not too bad to get. Rolling the Chompy hat is an automatic unlock of the Big Chompy Bird Hunting quest, which is great for us because it puts us one step closer to accessing Dragon Slayer and the Gold Satchel. Unlocking the quest also means the Ogre Bow and Arrows have been unlocked, as they are untradeable quest items. 46 points. Sweet, steel gloves. These are the gloves from Recipe for Disaster, and so far this video is a disaster because here's where I screwed up yet again. When creating the list of items for the wheel, I set every pair of gloves and every weapon from RFD aside so that I could split them into their respective categories. But when I did that, I forgot to include them in the list of quest items. So don't be mad at me, I promise I'm not cheating, but rolling any pair of Recipe for Disaster gloves or any of the weapons is an automatic unlock of Recipe for Disaster and all of its subquests. Before we can even do that though, we're now forced to clear our list of banished items. First up we have the Sapphire Necklace, a task so easy that I forgot to turn on my recorder when I was making it. 47 points. Next up is the horse variant of the Steel Heraldic Full Helm. I'm gonna be honest, if you told me you just got a heraldic horse helmet in the game, I'd think you had a case of brain worms. But here I am making myself a steel heraldic horse helm. 48 points. And here's where things get interesting. I currently have 3 quest unlocks available to use. Mithril Claws are unfortunately not a quest item, despite being locked behind the Death Plateau quest. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use one of my quest unlocks to complete this challenge. But what's even more upsetting is that I have to get 63 smithing to be able to make the Mithril Claws, as no shop sells them and no monster drops them. Now most of you are probably thinking, 63 smithing? That's easy, what's the big deal? Well, I'll tell you what the deal is. In order to acquire the steel gloves, we need to complete 3 subquests of Recipe for Disaster. And to do that, we need to use 2 of our quest unlocks for Cook's Assistant and Goblin Diplomacy. Meaning I can't use any quest unlocks for Blast Furnace or any other method of smithing. I can't wear Rings of Forging for iron ore, and I also can't use Superheat because the magic levels I'd gain would put me well over the 50 combat threshold, and it would eat up all of my cash. So my best option is steel bars. If I were to smith steel bars to 62 and then boost to 63 with a Dwarven Stout, I would still need to make around 7,000 steel bars. I would have to mine 7,000 iron ore, then 14,000 coal, then smelt all the bars, and then actually hammer the fuckers into pixels of XP. That is an exhausting amount of work just for 62 smithing. So instead, we're gonna do what Wheelman does best, wheel content. I did spend some time AFKing at Motherlode and we did make a couple thousand steel bars for some throwing knives and arrowheads, but the bulk of my XP came from this bad boy right here, the water wheel. Repairing these gives you a decent amount of XP and it scales with your level, so for every level I gain, my overall XP per hour goes up. I started out getting around 18 to 20k XP an hour, but towards the end I was getting between 25 and 30. I probably spent at least 10 hours doing this, but it was still 2 to 3 times faster than mining all the ore and making the bars myself. This task sucked, but with 62 smithing finally achieved, we're now able to complete the Death's Plateau quest. This puts us down to 2 available quest unlocks, and making the Mithril Claws grants us our 49th point, only 1 challenge away from our next item sacrifice and equipment slot unlock. Now that we've cleared our graveyard, we can get back to the main tasks at hand, starting with the steel gloves. As I said before, both of our remaining quest unlocks are now going to be used to complete the first 2 subquests of RFD. Freeing Scratch for the third gives us access to Jubblies, which also happens to be what we need for our Gold Satchel challenge. Completing this subquest is like killing 2 birds with 1 oversized ogre arrow. And with all 3 subquests complete, we can now claim our steel gloves for our 50th point. Before we move on to our sacrifice, let's spin the wheel for our next challenge. Turquoise hat, very nice. That's an easy point. Sacrifice time. And just like last time, our 28 most valuable, equipable, unprotected items have been placed in our inventory and given a value of 1 to 28, starting from the top left all the way down to the bottom right. And don't worry if you see a couple duplicates in here, those represent other items that I only had placeholders in the bank for, like mithril legs and some other pieces of gear that I have in stash units. Items that I alch or sell or just get rid of are still going to have a placeholder in my bank, and they will be included in the sacrifices. I did this all on stream and had several people analyzing my bank along with me, so I'm pretty positive I didn't miss anything. Let's go ahead and spin and see what we lose. Lucky number 6. Well, that could have been really bad for us, but luckily all we lose is a rune dagger. We're definitely still going to be allowed to alch these, we just can't use it or equip it. Not that I was ever planning to anyway. And with that out of the way, we now get to spin for our benefit, our second unlocked equipment slot. 9 slots remain, and at this point any equipment slot is good for us, so I'm not really hoping for anything in particular. Whoa, a helmet slot? Dude, hell yeah. No more scuffed Slayer tasks, this is huge. Now we can wear earmuffs, a nose peg, a face mask, all without ever unlocking those items. This is great. I would have been stoked for any unlock, but honestly the helmet is the best possible outcome right now. That is a massive upgrade. And with that fellas, we're gonna end it here. No, don't go. I know. But I do have good news. I've had a lot of time to get caught up with the account's progress, and I now have at least another 3 episodes ready to be edited, so you won't have to wait long for the next one. I promise I'll get my shit together. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you're enjoying the series so far. If you do, go give my Twitch channel a like and a sub with your grandma's Prime account so you'll know the next time I go live. Till next time, gamers.